Hello and happy Thursday, my friends. Welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World. As today, we're going to be bringing you guys a double dose of Prime Sports World. First of all, we're bringing you the crossover episode. We're going to be breaking down the first week in the National Basketball Association. We're going to be talking about how the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes are going for certain teams in the NBA. We're going to talk about some team players returning from injury. Then we're going to look at some NBA storylines, and then we're going to do some GOAT talk because it's one of the staples here at Prime Sports World, especially on the crossover. Later tonight, we are going to give you our games of the week. That is just going to be a video with some music, so you can get all of our panelists' games of the week. My schedule is a little bit all over the place this week, so I can't exactly host it, but I'm still going to run it. But yeah, if you're looking for consistent content on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, you come to the right place. Prime Sports World goes live basically every single day, bringing you the most up-to-date content that we can. I've also shared the StreamYard link into all of the places, including the main Prime Sports World Facebook page and the Prime Sports World YouTube channel. If you guys could please go over to the YouTube channel and drop us a like and drop us a subscribe, we would very much appreciate that gesture as well. DJ, 1 week is in the books for the NBA season. And, you know, it's been a very interesting week of the NBA, like for real. Some teams that we thought were going to be better have really kind of struggled out of the gates for damn sure. And the Lakers are just the Lakers. We're not going to talk about them today, but they will be for sure be featured on a future show.
Yeah, I think Brooklyn is 1-3 after last night's loss.
Well, I mean, they have lost twice to the Bucks, and they lost to Boston. I mean, they haven't had exactly the easiest schedule ever.
Yeah, no, they haven't. And the Jazz are like 4-1, and it's like
The
what?
Jazz are 4-1, right? Yeah, like everybody expected them to be in the like. I honestly, we'll see. We'll talk about them here in a minute. But yeah, it's been a very interesting week in the NBA. We will see how these things go. Actually, the first topic we're actually going to talk about here is actually the teams that are suspected to be in the victor. And I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher this. I'm going to butcher this name until I absolutely get it right. It was like the Giannis thing until I got that name right. Wembanyama, I think is how it's pronounced. The teams that are supposed to be in the sweepstakes. The Spurs were 3-1 up until their loss last night. The Jazz continue to win. They're 4-1. The Hornets are 2-2. The Pacers are 1-4. The only team that seems to be even trying here for the tanking. And then the Thunder are 1-3. They did not play last night. But this all really comes off of some comments from Adam Silver, where he says the NBA changes has greatly reduced incentives for tanking. But I think that this is like when it comes to Victor for right now, like he's one of those generational type talents. I think that like changes the narrative. Like I'm sure, like the chances, the odds have definitely changed the way tankings work. The play-in tournament has absolutely changed the incentive to tank. But teams when they see a player like this are gonna tank. It's just the way it's gonna be. Like this guy, we already talked about this in the last show. If this guy was coming into the same draft class as the LeBron James prospect, he would go and draft higher than the prospect LeBron. And so, what do you think about these teams? How are they doing with the tanking? What do you think is going to be? You think the commissioner is going to do anything about this? The fact that these teams are clearly not putting out a good product to try to get the first overall pick. And Utah just continues to win. San Antonio is better than people thought.
Well, this just depends on like when you say is Adam Silver going to do anything? What can he do?
I mean, I think he's done everything he could.
It's not like he's going to be like, "Oh, you're tanking. I'm going to strip you of a draft pick or something like that." Now, if he gets to that extreme, I'll be very surprised. But I think two things, like it's a couple things that have stopped tanking, right? Like you said, like the play in is one because it gives more players a reason to play, like play
Yeah.
harder,
Yep.
and it doesn't happen enough. But you have teams like New Orleans who had little to no chance at winning the first overall pick to get.
Even in that same draft class, Memphis had like really low odds to end up getting the second overall pick in that same draft class, and they ended up with a franchise-changing player.
And they all right, so it's like I think that draft, the Zion draft, it's like the Knicks, right? Like the Knicks were like, up, they finna get Zion, they finna get all, and they finna get KD and Kyrie, and they finna be back on the map. And they didn't even they got the third overall pick, right? And it just happens like that. I fully expect all these teams to still be in the Wembanyama sweepstakes.
Me too. I think the fact that they got off to a hot start is nice, but I don't expect Utah to keep this going. I think the Spurs are going to end up. I think they've come down to earth a little bit. Right. I think they've lost their last two games. They for sure lost last night. So the Hornets, I think the Hornets may not even be in the sweepstakes. They may be trying to win games.
Yeah, but and obviously they missing their best player right now. LaMelo Ball has been out with a high ankle sprain. I think he had a high ankle sprain in like the second to last preseason game for them.
Yeah,
and they're like, yeah, you're not going to be ready by the time the regular season starts. So just take. He's also obviously like he's also a major investment for that team. So it's just protect your investment at all costs. I'm not going to rush you back. Just heal, like take your time, heal, all that good stuff. The Pacers are 1-4. It's like it's hard to say they're going to be in the they're going to go Wembanyama in the draft, especially if they keep Miles Turner.
I would be shocked that he's still on the. I'm still shocked he's still on the team today, but if he's still on the team by the deadline, I would be pretty shocked.
Exactly. So if you're the Pacers, it's a bevy of ways you can go with this. Like we already expect two of these guys on the Pacers to be gone, right? Buddy Hield's gonna be playing someplace else, and Miles Turner is definitely probably gonna be playing someplace else. Where we don't know, but but it's seriously it's a bevy of ways they can go. Like the whole DeAndre Ayton Miles Turner swap that could happen, but you have to wait till like January to do that.
And I still think there's still potential there for the Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, Russell Westbrook trade. I think at some point potentially.
But I'm just saying, like, if that was to happen, that should have happened.
I mean, I'm not sure what I'm not sure exactly what's going on in the Lakerland, like for real. Like we're gonna touch on them briefly in this show, but we're not
And
we're gonna do a full
yeah,
Lakers
yeah,
thing
yeah.
next week.
And then
Like,
The Thunder are 1-3. Again, I don't see them going after Wembanyama, especially when they just drafted.
man, I totally disagree with you. I think if they had the opportunity to do Twin Towers 2.0, I think they would.
And then, but they already have a Twin
I know.
Tower two.
I think they put those two guys together. Like they put Victor Wembanyama right next to Chet Holmgren, and they would
But
just
it's
play
like,
the two of them together.
and then here's another thing. I'm not gonna have 3 7-footers on my team that barely weigh.
Man, Poku is not in their future plans. I keep telling you,
You
like he's just
keep
not.
saying, then why aren't they getting rid of him? They can cut
I
him.
mean, he still has some potential. There's still some talent there, but like if
No,
they,
no, 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 no. See, that's my issue with you, bro. Like, oh, he has some potential, but if he's not in their future plan, stop wasting goddamn time and get rid of him. He's not in the future. Get rid of him. Cut him. Send him home.
if
You're
I was
wasting time.
if I was the GM, I would have. But obviously, I'm not the GM of the Thunder. I don't know if
Then
that's
they're not. So
I don't know if that's breaking news to anyone, but
so and so until something happens, stop saying he's not in their future plans because you clearly don't know.
it's in my opinion
But you
that
don't
he
know.
is not in their future plans, big picture. Like if someone if he like when his rookie contract's up, he's not going to be on that team.
We'll see. But
Okay, all right.
again, until it happens, he's on the team. He's in the future. I'm not having 3 7-footers on that team that way a combined 350. It's not happening. It's just not happening.
Yeah, but I fully expect the 5 teams on this graphic are all going to be like the Utah Jazz. Like we'll talk about the Utah right now. They're going to be trading away Jordan Clarkson, Mike Conley, anything that has even a remote a little bit of suspect of value is going to get traded before the deadline. They're not going to keep all these guys on the roster. Like it's just not going to happen.
And I'm looking at their front court situation. You got I don't know. Does Walker Kessler does he start for them or does he come off the bench? I was
Let me take a look at their depth chart real quick.
but I do think they agree with you. Yeah, Clarkson.
So Kelly Olynyk starts at the 5, and Jared Vanderbilt is the starting power forward. Laurie Markkinen starts at the 3. Jordan Clarkson is the starting shooting guard. Mike Conley, starting shooting point guard. But yeah, I expect Rudy Gay will get traded at some point. I think Jordan Clarkson gets traded. Mike Conley gets traded. Those guys all have value and are they're not part of the future plans of the Utah Jazz. Like Jordan Clarkson's expiring deal, Mike Conley expiring deal, Rudy Gay expiring deal. Those guys have value to other teams in the NBA.
I guess it all depends on with those guys what are you willing to give up and basically who's calling who's
I mean, so if I'm, I hate to talk about the Lakers so much during the show, but like they're the obvious destination, like because they have the Russell Westbrook contract, so they could facilitate a lot of trades. So let's say they take that 2027 first round pick, and they were like, hey, you give us Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Rudy Gay, and we'll give you Westbrook and that 2027 first round pick. I think the Lakers would do that.
Again, that's something that should have been done.
Yeah, true.
But that's what I'm getting at, bro. It's like it should have been done. Like this deal should have been done. But anyway, I can't think of anybody else that.
I mean, I'd have to like. I mean, at some point, I mean, the contenders, all the contenders and the fake contenders are going to shake out at some point. And these teams that are like at the top of their conferences, they're going to be looking for players like a Mike Conley who can like run your second unit if you want to, or even give you valuable point guard minutes. Like the Dallas Mavericks are a team that could use Mike Conley. To use those Luka Doncic when Luka Doncic is out on the floor, you can have Mike Conley in the game and give you basically keep your offense afloat while he's not on the floor. Jordan Clarkson is one of those guys, microwave guys who can score and fits into any team. You can make sense on the Heat. He makes sense on the Bulls. He makes sense on the Celtics. Like there's a lot of teams that could be a good fit for Jordan Clarkson. So yeah, who?
I said Philly.
Yeah, Philly too. I mean, they're a whole massive team too that we're gonna get to in next week's show for sure. We will adjust them a little bit here with something, nothing, or everything. But yeah, they're something else. But like, yeah, I think the teams that are like it's just I think this is how the way sometimes goes. Like you don't really you come off the gates. I mean, you get some teams kind of off guard at the beginning of the season. You win some games. That's just kind of how it goes. I mean, last season, or was it 2 years ago? We were talking about the Wizards were like 9-1 at one point during the season, and we're like, how long is this?
It was literally like last season. It's like
like the Wizards had a really good record during the start of the last season. We're like, how long is this going to last? Like, maybe another month. Let's be real. And they ended up with the top 10 pick.
You're like, can the Wizards keep this up? Like, no, they can't. No, it's just not gonna happen. But let's just say, like, currently constructed, no team makes a move, right? I mean, obviously it's gonna happen, but no team. Let's just say no team makes a move. They last the whole season how they're currently built. We already know these teams are gonna be bad. Charlotte, maybe not, because their best player is injured. We already know he's coming back.
Yeah, but I still think that they're not. I think Charlotte would punt this season for an opportunity to get a franchise-changing player.
But I also, I don't think
because they're not good. They're not good enough to win a title, regardless. Like they're like a play-in team at best.
But that's the thing. I don't think they're going to be bad enough to be top overall.
I mean, if they like turtle LaMelo Ball's return from this injury, where they just have it take forever, they could absolutely, because like outside of him, I mean, I'm not even sure who else is on the team. Like I'm half kidding, but not really. Like,
well, that's the thing about Michael Jordan. I don't think it's in Michael Jordan's nature to just tank on purpose. Like when
it won't be on purpose. Like they'll just put a bad product on the floor and they'll lose. Like that's just the way it'll go.
But it's like it also is like, I get he's a generational talent, but it's also like, what's the best fit?
Like he would be a great fit at the Hornets. Are you talking about the best fit for him? I think if the best fit for him would either be the Jazz, partner him up with Colin Sexton, or put him on San Antonio with Greg Popovich.
Because like if you look at all these, like you look at the markets that's listed right here, they're all mid to small markets. He's not going to get overstimulated with by a fast-paced, like living in a fast-paced city. Like
I think that's what one of the things that benefit Giannis so much. Like he didn't end up going to like New York or LA or like one of these big markets. He went to Milwaukee, where he was able to grow into his game.
Like the biggest market on this list is probably Indianapolis.
No, I think Charlotte is a bigger city.
No, I gotta go Indy.
That's close.
Right.
Charlotte's like in the top 20, dude.
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis is 34.
Okay, so I'm
gonna look that up actually.
I still think it's closer. but those are like the.
The split between like 20 and 32 is not that much.
Not that much.
We're talking like
we're splitting hairs.
That many households. Like
we're splitting hairs.
Charlotte's 22 actually. So Charlotte's 22. They're the biggest market on this list for sure. Where is Indianapolis? Indianapolis is 27. So yeah, it's pretty close.
That's close.
Yeah, it's close.
Salt Lake City's in there somewhere too.
Salt Lake City's at 34. Who else? San Antonio is at 50, you think? Something like that? Somewhere in the 50s?
I don't even want to know OKC yet.
They're not that far off either.
So it's
Oklahoma City is 41. San Antonio is 6. Oh no, that's it. They don't even have their own market actually. What's the other city that's near San Antonio that would be part of that market? 31. San Antonio's 31. So
city's next.
I got it. San Antonio's 31.
That's not important, but it's.
Well, no, I was trying to look it up in the Nielsen ratings. Like San Antonio, for some reason, didn't come up right away. So
I got you.
So I thought it might have been part of another market.
And if Wembanyama ends up having that Giannis effect, where then it's great. Like obviously, I think no matter where he goes, he's gonna be good. But to your point, growing up in a city like Milwaukee, where it has a pace to it, but it's not a pace like New York, Chicago, or LA, right? It's not boom, 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 boom. It's like it has a pace, but it's like I can handle this. I can deal with this.
Yeah, I mean, but it also could work the other way. I mean, Ricky Rubio really didn't want to play in Minnesota. That's where he got drafted. The start of his career was kind of rough for sure. He's rounded out into shape a little bit here, but now he's dealing with injuries. Um,
Well, I just think that was just poor management, like a poorly
yeah,
ranked team.
I don't disagree with you. I know you hate it, but I absolutely love the idea of him ending up on the Thunder and having Chet Holmgren and Victor next to each other in that front court. I just think that on the front court, I think that would be so like the matchup problems that would cause from night to night basis. I think that like watching that would be so entertaining. Um, I also think that I know we shouldn't like. I know his big market's probably not ideal for him, but if he ended up on the Knicks, like that would be like if the Knicks somehow bottom out this season, which I mean they could. Um,
Be real.
I mean, then they have other people's picks too, so they could end up with one of those. I mean, they could package everything they have to try to get the first overall pick in this year's draft. The Knicks would be an interesting just for having a big name, and the NBA is just better when the Knicks are good.
Yeah, it's like the issue that you have. So like, all right, so you got keep bringing him up. You got like a Chet Holmgren, right? He's already hurt,
Yeah.
right? Can you imagine if Chet Holmgren was in New York and he kept getting so he's hurt this year, right?
Oh yeah, it would be horrible.
And he I'm not wishing injury on him, but imagine if he keeps getting hurt again. Yeah. I'm not saying their skill set is bad. I'm not saying they're not gonna make it in the NBA because of their skill set. My only concern with a Chet Holmgren, with a Wembanyama, is like, dude, you're 7 foot tall and taller. You're not even 200 pounds, and it's so hard to add muscle to that frame. And everybody's like, oh, look at Giannis. Giannis did it.
Yeah, but Giannis is like
they're not.
First of all, Giannis isn't 7'2". Like there's like
or 7'4".
Yeah.
Giannis was like 6'9", 6'10" coming into the NBA, and he grew to 6'11".
Yeah.
And it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. I'll be like, if these two dudes cap out at 215, that's probably the heaviest they'll ever be.
But I do think that like Victor is a little more built than Chet Holmgren is at this point.
That really
no, it's not. But just by watching him play, he seems to have more bulk on him already than Chet even has now, even a year older.
Either way, if you post them up and you like post them up good enough, like they still getting moves, bro.
They're kind of a hard time, but yeah, I mean the skill set is why people want them. They'll figure it out. But yeah, we'll check in on how the tanking going periodically throughout the season. These are the 5 teams that I've identified that I think are going to tank this season at some point. I may be wrong. There may be others that I forgot to put here. For some reason, I completely forgot to put Indiana on the graphic, but whatever. Moving on from there, let's talk about some players that are trying to make a comeback in 2023. Let's talk about how their seasons have been so far. Kawhi Leonard is the most interesting one, probably out of the whole list. He's weirdly coming off the bench and not playing a lot all the time. He's averaging 20 minutes a night, which is really head scratching. His average is 12 points a game right now and 6 rebounds and 2 assists. Which is interesting. Then you got Damian Lillard, who's dealing with an injury, got hurt in the Miami Heat game last night. But before that, man, the dude was on a tear. 31 points, including I think he had a 41-point outburst against the Los Angeles Lakers, I think earlier this week. 31, 4, and 5. His usage rate is pretty good right there. Anthony Davis, coming off of missing a lot of games last season, has been pretty solid for the Los Angeles Lakers. 24, basically 10 rebounds. Ben Simmons has been wildly inconsistent. Didn't look good at all last night against the Milwaukee Bucks. He's averaging 5 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. His shot attempts are really not good at all. Like he's just not shooting the basketball with any kind of confidence. And like we'll see what ends up happening with that situation. Zion Williamson has been awesome, but he's also now dealing with a slight injury. 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. And then finally, the combination of Michael Porter and Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He's usually only playing every other night coming off that ACL tear. Michael Porter Jr. Is currently hurt and missing some time right now. Should be ready to play on Friday when they take on the Jazz. 18 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 assist per game by Michael Porter Jr. So let's talk about these just players coming back off injury. Who have you been most impressed with, most head-scratching? Who do you think still has a lot to prove?
Well, to answer that first question, most impressive is definitely Zion because even with the like the only reason he's out right now because he took that nasty fall where he was going up for a lob and I forgot who contested the lob, but it caused him to fall. So he has like a slight hip contusion, and he didn't play the other night against the Mavs. He's probably not going to play for this. He's probably going to miss this next game too.
He's currently day
Uh,
to day, so
right? Yeah. So like, it's. I saw him in the preseason, and I forgot who their first regular season game. I think their first regular season game was the Knicks. Not the Knicks. The Nets.
yes. Their first regular season game was against the Brooklyn Nets. He put up 25, 9, and 3. He also had
And
4 steals in that game. He played 30
it
minutes.
and it's like he didn't miss a beat. Like he went right back to being that workload that he is. It's like, hey, when you come to play me, bring your heart. In the words of Stacey King, bring your hard hat lunch bill. Like it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day on the site. And I think the reason he's going this hard is because, bro, like he hears the chatter, he hears the talk, right? Like you sign a max deal, and if you're injured, your contract can turn into the worst one in the NBA.
Yep.
Because at some point in time, when you're hurt, you're gonna miss a lot of games, and it's just like, damn, we gave this guy max money and he's barely here. It's a bunch of them that have a lot to prove, right?
Well, I got my so real quick, but yeah, my most impressive. I think Zion's probably number 2 for me. I think I got to go Damian Lillard. There was a lot of chatter in the offseason talking about maybe he's not the player that he used to be based on how not good he was before he got hurt last season. But he's certainly silenced those haters. This is his stat line for the 5 games he's played so far this season. 22 points in a game where he only played 26 minutes. 31, 41, 41, 20. Yeah, Damian Lillard is back. They were undefeated actually before this game, before a game that he got injured during and had to leave early. You can make the argument he doesn't get hurt. They're 5-0. They're the best. They have the best record in the NBA at this point. If he doesn't get hurt during that game, Damian Lillard, he's been everything advertised. He's shooting it out of his mind from 3-point line. This percentage is like 45%, something like that of that nature. Yeah, like it's 39%. Sorry, but yeah, 40% from the 3-point line. Yeah, Damian Lillard has been awesome this season.
That's another team that might be in the win buddy on the sweepstakes whole time.
Maybe I don't think they want to be, but they're
it's because like the inevitable that's going to happen. What the inevitable is Dame and Nurkic are going to miss time. And it's just like, yep, it just never fails. Just never fails, right? And so like I think the players with a lot to put like. I think every player on this list is like.
I think there's for sure one player on this list that still has a lot to prove, and it's Ben Simmons. Like you basically force your way out of Philadelphia. I mean, given that situation what it was, and then you haven't been remotely good this season since you became back. I mean, he is the defense is nasty that you thought we were going to see out of him. Like runner up for defensive player of the year a few years ago. We haven't really seen any of that out of him, and he's been tentative at best with the basketball. Like he hasn't really been.
Well, I think Kyrie Irving summed it up best last night. Like, yo, give him but the issue is people don't want to hear that, and I'm just gonna add like I just want people to really think about it. Take whatever you do for a living, right? Whatever you do for a living, take a year off. Take a year off from your job. Whatever it is, just take a year off. And then try to come back the next year. Do you really think you're gonna put out the same? Like, do you really think it's gonna be the same?
No, but I just think that he just doesn't look like a guy who's playing with a lot of confidence, and like maybe that'll come. Maybe that will come with time.
That exactly.
Yeah.
It's been 4 games, and it's just like, all right, I get it. He hasn't played in a year, but at the same time, it's you don't know what he is. What he's going through, like it's just, I'm tired of it being talked to death. It's like it's the same thing with Westbrook. Like yo, just let Ben be Ben. Like stop, just leave him alone. Just leave him alone.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think, but when you're on a big contract and basically he's the third piece now for the Brooklyn Nets. Like he has to be better than this. Like he just has to be
and and
if
and
they're
he
gonna be
will,
competitive.
and he will. Again, it's now this is it's different if this is game 20, game 20, 25, game 30. This is game 4.
Yeah, true,
This is
true.
game 4.
Oh, I also think Anthony Davis has looked really good so far this season. I mean, he's been the Lakers' second best player, which he needs to be. But I mean, averaging 22, 22, 25, 27. Anthony Davis has been good this season so far.
He has, but the issue that you have with AD is the same issue that you have with a lot of with like dang. Like every time I see Anthony Davis go up for a dunk or something, what is he doing? He's grabbing his back. It's like, dude, really? Like he did a lot of back grabbing last night against the Nuggets, and
He was getting bullied in the post by Jokic, so that would make me want to grab my back too.
but it's just funny how certain Embiid fans who wanted him to win the MVP, Nick Wright, he had a lot to say about him. He had a lot to say about Joker when he had, I think it was like he posted like a triple single the other night. He had like 8.7, 8 assists and like 6 rebounds. Nick Wright didn't say a lot about Joker last night, you know.
No, he for sure didn't. He
I
probably didn't say a
wonder
lot about
why.
him when he had that triple double the other night either. So, yeah.
I wonder why. And Jamal Murray, like I just love the fact that he's playing again. Like
Yeah, he's on a minute restriction for sure. He's played 4 games. He's only played 27 minutes a night. Yeah, but he's been solid since he came back. I mean,
and Kawhi Leonard, bruh. Okay, like now you.
that's
Okay,
the most head scratching one for me for sure. I don't understand.
I don't understand it. I
Like
don't.
it's been a year since he got hurt, and like he's coming off the bench for them, like, and then he's
He's
missing
been like,
time constantly. I don't understand. Like today, that's 2 days ago. They sent him back to Los Angeles for treatment on his stiff knee. Like, are you good or not? Like, let's not play this game.
because you got Max. Like again, like what are we doing? Like if I'm Steve Ballmer, I don't want to upset the apple cart because he's a very not volatile, but like once he feels that you crossed him,
Yeah,
there's no coming back. There's no coming back with Kawhi Leonard, and like we saw that, right?
that's exactly what
Uh,
happened with San Antonio.
that's exactly what happened with San Antonio because Tony Parker's like I tore my quad and I'm back before you. Like we like no like don't do that. You're Tony Parker. He's Kawhi Leonard. Worry about Tony Parker. And the fact that with that situation, it was folks agreeing with Tony Parker. This is like, oh, I thought y'all had my back on this. Turns out y'all don't, and I want out. So, but I'm with you. Like there was a situation where like they played, I think they played Sacramento, and he didn't play. They had a day off, and then they had a game after that, and he didn't play in that game. And it's just like, what are you doing?
I mean, he played 2 preseason games, and yeah, he's only played 2 games in the regular season. He's probably not going to play their next game, so who knows, man? With Kawhi Leonard, he's the most head scratching one for me for sure. Like he is just an enigma. I don't really understand, like for real, like he doesn't talk much, so you don't really gauge much from him ever. But I can never understand what is going through his head when it comes to his injury stuff. And just to address also Michael Porter Jr., because we haven't got a chance to really touch on him yet. He's been good. He missed the last game against the Lakers last night,
Yeah.
but he's averaging 18 points a game, 6 rebounds and an assist.
That's all. That's all.
He's been really good this season. I mean, he's on a minutes restriction a little bit here. He's only playing about 30 minutes a night, which I guess isn't technically a minute restriction, but
Like I saw that game against the Warriors where when I saw him get the ball, like he was the outlet on the break, like he got the ball, he just pulled up from the top of the key with a 3. I'm like, yep. I'm like that.
The dude has talent, that's for damn sure.
I'm like, yep, that's the Michael Porter Jr. I wanted in Chicago, but I don't run the show here, so it is what it is. But to your point, like when Denver gets those 3 guys, when they get those three guys going, it's just gonna be like, okay.
I mean, we've seen what they're doing with just Jokic, and I like the KCP addition. Like, yeah, they've been a very interesting team to watch, and we'll continue to check in on these players as they try to make their comeback in 2023 as the season goes on. Let's talk a little bit of NBA conversation. Let's talk something, nothing, everything. Let's first talk with the defending champions, Golden State Warriors. When you sent me this 29th in defense, they've actually gotten worse. They're actually the 30th ranked defense in the National Football League or the National Basketball Association. Do you think the defense is going to be the reason they don't win a ship? Something, nothing, everything. Just how replacing Michael Otto Porter Jr. Gary Payton II hasn't been seamless. Hasn't been as seamless as people thought. Warriors 30th in defense. Something, nothing, everything.
It's something like the old adage: offense wins games, defense wins championships. The issue that you have is their key defenders are old. They're starting to get old. All right, like it used to be a time where Clay could defend your best point guard, your best two guard, or even a small forward that was his size. Right, Clay's coming off of a torn ACL and a torn meniscus in back-to-back years, and you're asking him to sit down in the chair for 30 plus minutes a game. And what happens is you're out and your contemporaries are working on their game, getting better, right? Like he gets ejected the other night against Phoenix. Now you have to think that part of that is because Devin Booker
first ever ejection ever.
First ever ejection. You kind of have to think that, hey man, Devin Booker was giving you some buckets, so you was getting a little frustrated, right? Hey, it happens, right? Like Draymond Green, he getting old, right? Steph Curry's never really been.
I mean, that whole volatility with the Draymond Green situation is something that is going to have to be watched for the entire season. Because there was a play where Jordan Poole, like there was a defender coming up from behind him, and Draymond Green didn't call it out, didn't say nothing, and he ended up getting picked. Jordan Poole ended up getting his pocket picked because Draymond Green didn't call out the defender was behind him. It's like basketball 101.
Right, and
I think there's still some animosity there. I know they're trying to brush it under the rug, but I think it's still a thing.
And Steph Curry's never really been a defender. So like you got to look at the other parts on that roster. Okay, so you get shot blocking and athleticism in James Wiseman, but
who has been good this season so far.
But it's also like how often do you play him? Like he's splitting rotation minutes with Kevon Looney, who's more of a rebounder than a defender. Like I don't think Kevon Looney is
No, he's for sure. I mean, he's like 6'7".
Right. Okay. And you got what's his name? Jonathan Kuminga, who didn't play at all. Like he didn't. I don't think he's played this.
I don't think he's played this season yet.
All right, so Moses Moody could be like he could be a defender. Like he could be a tenacious defender when
he's a good 3-and-D wing. But yeah, this is for sure something for me too. I don't think it's everything quite yet, but like this is like the Golden State Warriors are getting a little older. I mean, like, and they're expecting like they lost JP2 and they lost Otto Porter Jr. All of those guys were valuable role players on a team that won a title, and you're expecting Jonathan Kuminga, you're expecting Moses Moody to step into those shoes, and it just hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. Yeah, Dante DiVincenzo, who's got hurt now, he hasn't played in a couple games now too. Yeah, this is something for me.
So like now, your saving grace is it's only been 4 games. Like there's a lot of time to right this ship, and even if you don't win a championship, you've won 4 in the last like 70 years or something like that. You're fine.
So there are 3 teams in the NBA currently shooting over 40% from the 3-point line. It is the Charlotte Hornets and the Toronto Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. But we're not going to talk about them today. We're actually going to talk about the team that's on the bottom of the 3-point percentage, which is the Los Angeles Lakers. They're now 0-4. They are shooting it at 22.3% from the 3-point line. They are worse than the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are worse than – that's all I need to say. They're worse than Oklahoma City Thunder when it comes to their 3-point percentage. And before Russell Westbrook missed last night's game, he was 2 for 15 on shots beyond 14 feet in this season so far. Despite he had some really good looks in some of those games, 2 for 15. The shooting has just not been there for the Lakers. Something, nothing, everything.
It's everything because that's what the league is now, right? It's a 3 point shooting league, and if you can't do that at least a average rate, then you don't stand a chance, right? Now, I'm not. It took a while. It took a while, and by a while I mean like literally the whole summer and the first few games of the season for them to find like for some Laker people and LeBron fans to be like, all right, it's not just Westbrook. The entire
I've been saying this all summer long. This team,
like
the roster sucks.
like
It's
we
just trash.
like we have been like it's not just him. Like it's just like no, like the entire roster just can't shoot. Like and
The roster doesn't make sense. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like
so like you so it's like I just hate Skip Bayless. It's like well it's all Westbrook fault because it's like he's just a cancer and it's like everybody's bad because he's bad and like it's a contagious thing. It's like dude, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. That's not how that works at all. Westbrook has shot the least amount of threes out of him, Patrick Beverly, LeBron, and AD, and it's like he still gets the blame. Like everybody on the Lakers are like, "Oh, we getting good looks." Yeah, because they let y'all shoot.
Yeah,
like
this is everything for me too. The Lakers are just not good. Like,
bro,
we're gonna eventually do a whole show, a whole segment on them, but the Lakers suck. Like they can't win with Russell Westbrook. They can't win without Russell Westbrook until they shake up this roster in some format. They're gonna have to give up those 2 first-round picks. They don't want to give up. If they want to really win this season, they need to shake up this roster because this team stinks. And they remember all that grief you gave me. I know Sacramento hasn't won a game either, but. But I remember all the grief you gave me about Sacramento being better than the Lakers. They will be for real. If they don't do something.
If they don't do something, but again, like we both looking like we don't know what we talking about because neither team was won a game. But like it was a game against Portland where AD had a 3 wide open in the short corner. Like that's the easiest 3 to make, right? Short corner,
the shortest one at least. I actually struggle with those corner threes for some reason.
Yusuf Nurkic didn't even run out to guard AD, bro. He didn't even run out to guard him, and AD shot it off the side of the backboard. Can you?
I've done that before at the rec, dude. It's not a good look.
No, but check it out. No, but here's the thing. But check it out. Can you imagine if that was Westbrook who shot that 3 and they hit the side of the backboard? Can you imagine?
The internet would have had a field day with it.
Exactly. So it's like what I'm like. No, I need y'all to keep that same energy. LeBron took a horrible 3 at the top of the key. It's the same game. He took a horrible 3 against the Trailblazers. He's like by the logo. He airballs. But it's like it's like no, that wasn't a smart shot. Like y'all, it's everything. And it's like I don't get it. Like what's his name? Like you're relying on Austin Reeves and Matt Ryan.
I told you when we did the season preview. I just don't think this roster is good.
I just don't. And now again, it's only been 4 games, but I definitely thought Kendrick Nunn would be better than the product he's put out on the court.
Yeah. So.
All right.
But yeah, moving on to the last one. We're moving on from LA to the other team struggling and is lucky that the Philadelphia Phillies are in the World Series and the Eagles are undefeated because maybe this is going under the radar in Philadelphia right now. But the Philadelphia 76ers are 1-3 too, and they're looking for answers. Tyrese Maxey's been good, but like the Sixers 1-3. The PJ Tucker ad has not worked out really at all. He hasn't solidified this bench. The Sixers are lagging in both offense and defense efficiency. They're 13th on offense, 22nd on efficiency. What do we make of this? Is something nothing. I think the Sixers really struggling to begin the season.
It's something, but I just wish we stop talking about PJ Tucker like he really is this X factor, this difference maker.
I mean, because the Bucks won a title with him, and that's why this narrative started for real. Like.
It's like, oh, we ain't got PJ Tucker. Like, bro, like, who do y'all think PJ Tucker is? Who do y'all, like, seriously, who do y'all think PJ Tucker is? PJ Tucker is more known and renowned for his shoe collection than his basketball skill, and I'm being all the way 100 with that. Like,
you're being a little disrespectful right now.
I am not. I bro, I'm not. I swear to God, I'm not.
I'm just
Like,
messing though, but yeah, I will. Yeah, it's certainly something because the Sixers need to turn around, but it's early. I think they'll turn it around. And Joel Embiid is dealing with a little plantar fasciitis, I think is what it's called. So let's see him bounce back. Oh shit, Izzy's doing all kinds of comments here. I didn't even notice.
I ain't either.
I'm in my own little graphic. I'm looking up stats and stuff. Like I'm in my own world right now. Let's jump into the final segment of today's show, which is of course NBA Conversation GOAT Talk. This is where we get to shine on those players that didn't get their shine when they were in the NBA Basketball Association. So we're gonna shine some light on them, and we got 2 GOAT Talks. I got one, and TG's got one. I'm gonna go first because I'm just going to go first. She always goes first. I'm going to go first. So my player was drafted in 1999. He was the 8th overall pick selected by the Cleveland Cavaliers. He played from 1999 to 2006. He played for the Cavaliers, the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Sixers, the Blazers, the Nuggets again, the Wizards, the Kings, the Timberwolves, and the Spurs. He NBA All-Rookie Team 2000. He was the NBA assist leader in 2002. He was Consensus First Team All-American in 1999. He went to the University of Utah for college. He was WAC Player of the Year in 1999. He was second time All WAC 98, 99. His number 24 player is retired by the Utah Utes. His career stats: 16 points per game, basically 12 points per game, 3.8 rebounds a game, and 7 assists per game. He also has the record for the most games played in a row without missing one, and he didn't miss a game until he got suspended for one.
Oh, that's Andre Miller.
Would you have gotten that if I hadn't said that?
I had none of those. It was the Utah Utes that gave it away. I'm like, yeah, that's Andre Miller.
So my first player is Andre Miller. Andre Miller is one of my favorite players of all time, man. I just love like his game, that like slow point guard mode, and he's going up against. This guy was drafted number 5 overall in the 1994 draft. He played from 1994 to 2013. He played for the Bullets, Mavericks, Nuggets, Magic, Rockets, Mavericks again, Nuggets again, Bobcats, Blazers, Heat. He was a 2-time NBA champion in 2012 and 2013. He was an NBA All-Star in 1996. His career numbers, 13.4 points per game, 6.1 rebounds per game, and 2 assists per game. He was a McDonald's All-American. He was the 3rd-team All-American AP in 1994, 1st-team Parade All-American in 1991, 2nd-team All-American in 1994, NBA All-Rookie Team in 95, All-NBA 3rd Team in 96.
Say that again?
He was the NBA All-NBA 3rd Team in 1996.
When was he drafted again?
He was drafted in 1994. He was in the first round. He was the 5th overall pick.
What's overall? Teams?
He played for the Bullets, Mavericks, Nuggets, Magic, Rockets, Mavericks again, Nuggets again, Bobcats, Trailblazers, Heat.
Finish with.
I cannot give you the college he went to because it will give it away immediately.
That Juwan Howard?
It is Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard is player number 2. So Andre Miller's career versus Juwan Howard's career.
Talk about longevity. Oh my God.
Both these guys played over 17 years in the NBA.
Damn. Yeah, Andre Miller played, what was it, like 630 some games in a row before he got suspended.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So like talk about so for the longest he was the NBA's Iron Man till I forgot why he got suspended, but it was something stupid.
It was stupid. Yeah, I think he push somebody during a game or something. Yeah,
It was stupid. Like I think more people know, more people probably know Andre Miller for getting like obliterated by Derrick Rose on multiple occasions because Derrick Rose like literally made him fall a lot.
it's true. It happens.
Right, it happens. But to your point, like Andre Miller, like he had that old man point guard game to him. It's like you're not gonna make me go. Like you're not gonna speed me up. I'm gonna play at my pace, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Andre Miller played so over his 17-year career, he played all 82 games 9 times.
That's a lot of games in a row, right? Like in a row.
I'm trying to find that number for how many games he actually played in a row.
That's 738. That's like if he played in all 82 games, like 9 years.
He played 632 games straight. He was finally suspended for a game after shoving Clippers player Blake Griffin.
Yeah, that was stupid. What would you say like their peaks were? What's
Andre Miller was pretty consistent through most of his career.
He was.
So his points were so I guess in Philadelphia in 2018 he averaged 17 points a game. That was probably his best season of his career. Juwan Howard's best season was in his best season was probably as a member of the Denver Nuggets. Actually, no. When he was a member of the Washington Wizards in 98-99, he averaged 18, or actually his highest score was 22.1, his second season in the league as a member of the Wizards as well, 22.1 points per game.
I probably got to go with Andre Miller because of the longevity thing. Like Juwan Howard towards the end of his career, he wasn't really playing all that much. Like he won a ring with the Heat, but he wasn't a contributor to that. Like he was definitely just a presence. Like he was just that veteran presence in the locker room, all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm give me Andre Miller.
Yeah, I think I'm also going to roll with Andre Miller. I think his career longevity was just. I mean, he averaged at least 9.6 points per game all the way up until that final year in Denver. If the guy was old, reliable, if you needed somebody who could play point guard and give you some good minutes, Andre Miller was that guy. And Juwan Howard got both his rings kind of in the twilight of his career for sure. But yeah, that's been my go talk. Go ahead, man. Your turn.
All right. Player one. Player one was drafted. Where was he drafted? First, he was drafted in '99, second overall. Played from '99 to 2010. Went to Maryland. Played for the Rockets, the Magic, the Knicks, back to the Rockets, and then he was out of the league for a couple years, and he ended up going to China. He finished in China. He was a 3-time All-Star from 2002 to 2004, so he was 3 straight. NBA 2002 to 2004, like those 3 years, he was an All-Star. He's NBA co-rookie of the year in the year 2000, all-rookie first team in the year 2000, second team All-American in 99, first team All-ACC, and his number is retired by the University of Maryland. Points 10,446 as 18 a game. So he's getting buckets. 3,215 rebounds. That's 5.6 rebounds a game, and 3,473 assists. That's 6 a game. So his career average is 18, 5, and 6.
Okay. Is this Steve Francis?
This is Steve Francis.
Okay. All right. Player two.
Player two. Oh, I thought I had that. Player two might be a dead giveaway because of I probably can't give you the college he went to. But all right, so player two, player from 93 to 07.
Okay.
was drafted third overall. He was drafted by the Warriors.
This is Chris Webber.
This is not Chris Webber.
Okay. Okay.
Played for the Magic, the Suns, the Knicks, and the Heat. Was a four-time All-Star from 95 to 98. Two-time All-NBA first team from in 95 and 96. All-NBA third team in 97.
You said he. This is Tim Hardaway.
This is not Tim Hardaway.
Okay. Magic, Suns, Knicks, Heat for teams.
Yep.
Okay. Could he with the stats again? Sorry.
Well, I wasn't done with the stats.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
All NBA All Rookie First Team in '94, Consensus First Team All American in '93, two-time Great Midwest Player of the Year in '92 and '93, paraded All American. His number is retired by his university, but I can't get a university away because that's a dead giveaway as to who this is. Points 10,684. That's 15 a game. 3,146 rebounds. That's 4.5 a game. And 3,525 assists. That's 5 assists a game. So it's 15, 4, and 5. He has a gold medal with the '96 Olympic team in Atlanta, which I think was the last time the U.S. hosted the Olympics.
You gotta give me something else on this. I don't have this player too. I don't have.
Well, he's a coach right now at his alma mater.
So he played for the Magic. What's his rookie team?
Played for the Magic, yeah.
Suns, Knicks, Heat.
Probably the bulk of his great play came when he was on the Magic.
It's not Penny Hardaway. No, he never played on any of those other teams.
It is Penny Hardaway.
Is it? Is it?
Because Penny Hardaway did play on those other teams.
And he went to Memphis.
He went to Memphis.
I never would have gotten that if you given me the college. By the way, for real, never. Yeah, this is Penny Hardaway. It's not close. I know Steve. I see Steve Hansen's had the gaudy numbers and stuff, but Penny Hardaway's career was kind of rattled a little bit by injuries. If he hadn't been injured, who knows what his career could have been. Yeah, give me Penny Hardaway.
See, I don't like. I wish Izzy was here for that one. For this one, it's both of their peaks are definitely kind of similar. So CB franchise, right? His best statistical year, he was basically 22-7. He 22 7 boards and 6 assists. You got to keep in mind Steve Francis was 6'3" with small hands, right? I remember that dunk contest he participated in where Vince Carter shut the gym down. He couldn't even every dunk Steve Franchise did, it was basically off a lob because his hands was too small to palm the ball, and he was still getting
that's crazy,
right? and he was still getting Steve Francis will put you on a poster if you weren't paying attention. I'm so serious. And then Penny Hardaway's best statistical year was his third year in the league, 95-96. He played all 82, 22, 7 assists and 4 rebounds. And people forget Penny Hardaway was 6. How tall is he?
Penny Hardaway was 6'7".
6'7", and he only averaged 4 rebounds a game. Bro. But
not everybody is gonna be rebounding the game. Brook Lopez was 7'1". He went through a season where he barely averaged 3 rebounds a game.
And to his point, and to be fair, Penny Hardaway he was running with Shaq.
And he also had Horace Grant there too for a little while. So, those guys are handling the rebounding.
But you can definitely tell when the injuries came. So it's year 4, he only played 59 games, but he still gave you 21, 5, and 4. Then the next year, he dropped all the way down to 19 games. He's 16, 4, and 3, but he barely averaged a block a game. Then Scoring went up to 17 because he played in 60. No, scoring dropped again to 15.8, but he was like 15, 5 and 5, but he played in 50 games. Then it
Yeah, I
was
mean, he was never really the same player after the injuries. Like, it just come out of all the explosion, all that stuff going away.
yeah, like the year like 2000, like the year 2000, he only played in 4 games, right? And what was it like? But look at these minutes, bro. Like 30, 37, 37,
Yeah, I
37,
mean,
30.
that's how many minutes people used to play in the NBA until they realized, hey, like, we're running our
Like,
players into the
bro,
ground.
2001, 2002, Steve Francis played in 41 minutes a game.
Yeah, that's why they doesn't have the
41
longevity of these
minutes
other
a
players.
game.
It's like Tom Thibodeau was his head coach or something. Actually, I think Tom Thibodeau was actually on that staff. That Stan that's Jeff Van Gundy was the coach of that team, right?
What this is 2001, 2001, 2002 Houston Rockets, 28 and 54. No, Rudy Tomjanovich was the coach. So
Oh,
Tom
okay. Because
Thibodeau
the Tom Thibodeau was on that Rocket staff with Jeff Van Gundy whenever that happened. So
Tom Thibodeau was on a lot of staffs when that,
yeah,
but
for
like no,
real.
like Rudy Tomjanovich was the head coach of that. I don't know. I might have to go Steve Francis, man. Like it's we're gonna have to ask Izzy in the
We'll have
group.
to Izzy break the tie. But
Yeah,
yeah, we'll be back here. I'll be doing game of the week segment later. So we'll check out that content. I've been David Huppin. Right there is Mr. TJ Hopkins and TJ. What we do here at the Prime, my friend?
we bring the heat.
Yes, sir, man. It's pretty nice here in Fort Wayne, by the way. So I'm gonna try to
Yeah,
enjoy some nice weather before I gotta go back to
yeah.
bed. I gotta be at work
Uh,
at 3:30 tomorrow.
I'm going back to sleep right now. So yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, man. You enjoy your sleep, man. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
See ya.